Hey guys, another episode on the Caddy. So today we'll be roughly test fitting the engine in the engine bay. So I have to just put the wheels back on, tighten up a couple bolts, lower it down, and then get the engine test fitted in. So the reason for it is I have to check if the radiator fits in, how I'm going to mount it. That's one of the reasons why I haven't painted the front, just in case I do need to weld some tabs on. I haven't finished it off, so I'll be able to spray it after I've welded any tabs on. So I need to put the engine in and then see how the radiator is going to mount, also the intercooler and all of the pipe work, and then yeah, go from there. So I'm just going to get on with putting the wheels on, tying up a couple bolts and go from there. So while I've got the engine out of the engine bay and on the crane, I might as well give it a quick clean. So I'm just going to use a wire brush, some brake cleaner and some gunk degreaser just to get all of the dirt off it and make it look a little bit more presentable than it is at the moment. So here's a quick time lapse of me giving the engine a quick clean. Okay, so the engine's in now. The mount on that side was giving me a little bit of issues lining it up. Because of the way my crane is, I couldn't tilt the engine back, so it was a little bit of a struggle getting that side in. The front top mount for the gearbox is in, and the rear, so there's 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and also onto the rear rubber. I've just started to mount the intercooler pipes just to see where the actual intercooler is going to go, so I haven't connected it up or drilled anything yet. So now the engine's been put in, it's a big step in this build and I'm really happy with it. So the next step is going to be putting the intercooler and the radiator in. So the radiator I went for is a stock OEM radiator, and I've got a smaller fan. I'll be showing you how to put that on and how I'm going to do it. I've given the fan shroud a quick paint up just so it looks a little bit better, and also I've just cleaned up the drive shafts, painted them and cleaned up the ends for them. So I'm not going for a too detailed build, I'm just making it look as clean as I can. Again, I'm not a professional here, I'm just doing the best that I can and I'm learning as I go along. So the radiator I'm going for again is a stock one, and I'm going to put a dark side development intercooler in. The reason I chose this one is because, so with the PD engine it will be a little bit more easy to use this intercooler because the turbo's on that side and the piping can all run to the same side of the intercooler. So yeah, let's get on with putting the intercooler, the radiator and the drive shafts in. Okay, so the intercooler and the radiator is mounted. As you can see here, it's all fitting okay. I'll quickly just tell you how I've done it. So with the intercooler, I made two brackets, so one here and one here. This one is a little bit raised up at the moment, so I'm going to need to make some sort of spacer just to space the bracket up a little bit. And this side is not too bad, but I'll probably make the same spacer for that side as well. So yeah, so it bolts onto the top, two sections, and then to the rear I've used these Allen head bolts on both sides and tapped the actual brackets that I've made. So I've tapped into the back of them and it's fairly secure. Well, it is secure, it doesn't move at all. And underneath you can see the bracket going across. So I haven't tightened it all up at the moment, as you can see, but yeah, so put a bolt here and a nut underneath and then it bolts into the bottom of the intercooler, as you can see there. So it's quite strong and that's what I was aiming for really. With the radiator, it fits into the original holes, so this side and the other side, and then just the original brackets on top. I've polished them just to make them look a little bit nicer, and yeah, all of the radiator hoses fit in perfectly. So probably the next step I'm going to do is get the fan put on and the shroud for the fan and put the drive shafts in. So yeah, that's the work that I need to be getting on with. So cue the time lapse. Okay, so I've got the fan shroud in and the fan, and you can see it plugs in at the bottom. So I've just given it a quick respray just so it looks a little bit cleaner in the engine bay. But with the drive shafts, it seems that they are too small for the actual cups on the gearbox itself. Let me show you on this side. So if I line it up on this side here, it's fine, but when you go to the other side, it's just way too small. So it seems that I have basically small drive shafts, so the cups on that side are too small, so I'll have to find the correct ones to fit that. I think they're 100mm, but I just have to do some double checking and see if I can find the right ones. So I'm really excited. I've got the engine in now, so the build is finally getting somewhere. So the plan is to move on from the engine now. I don't want to plumb every single thing in at the moment, so I'm just going to move on to getting the interior done. So on the next episode, I'll be taking the dashboard out. Then I'm going to install the shifter for the car. So I've been reading online that you can make a bracket, you can buy a bracket, or you can just drill through the car. So we'll be tackling that on the next episode. So if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn the notifications on so you get notified every time I upload. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys.